Like every successful model, Susan knows her own best features and how to play them up. There's no better makeup teacher than a top model. Now, Susan's how-tos and secrets.
I've already got a light base on that I applied with a sponge, and I do that because it puts an even covering of foundation on your face, and you can get away with using much less. And I also put my foundation in the refrigerator just so that it lasts long and I don't have any trouble with it going bad or rancid. That can also lead to pimples if it's not in good condition. I was just applying powder, and I also use a sponge for my powder just because I find that it goes on very evenly and I can get a good coverage and it sets the foundation. If you use a brush, it tends to drag the foundation across your face and you end up with messy looking foundation. I like it to look as close to my own skin as possible. And after I have on foundation and powder, I line my eyes with a black pencil or a blue pencil. Today I'm using black because I want to have my eyes be somewhat strong, and this definitely gives you a good accent. The black line, when it's closest to the lashes, just gives the eye more definition. And if I'm doing a photographic session, I want the eye to have more definition because the lights are quite strong and you can lose the shape of your eye if you're not careful. So the black line just defines the white from the rest of the lid. But I never leave it like this, I'll always blend it in. I never put a liner under my eye because I find that it closes the eye off. After I get the black liner on my eyes, I'll use a shadow. And one of my favorite colors is brown. And I try to find shades that accent your own skin tone. For instance, this one is a kind of a camel colored. And I like it because it accents the slightly olive tone that my skin has. I should also mention that whenever I travel, I never wear makeup. I always believe in keeping my skin as free as possible, letting it breathe, because makeup definitely stops that. So when I travel, I'll just use lots of moisturizer, no makeup. Now after I finish putting the powder or the shadow on my lid, I generally put a little bit of blush. And that's when I know what I'm wearing and what colors I have to wear. I'll take some tones that are not terribly bright and just put them on the outer corner. Almost always I use black mascara. I just find that it looks better and creates better contrast. For the bottom lashes, I do the opposite. I look down, or I angle my face down, and this gets the lashes away from the lower lid. And again, you have a better chance of being cleaner about it. I don't put on much blush, and I try to concentrate it almost directly under the eyes. Because the one thing you don't want to see is a line here, because that looks quite obvious. So I try to put the blush right under the eye so that it looks nice and rosy and it makes the face full. And when I finish that, I do my lips. Generally, if I can find a lip liner pencil that has a light enough tone, I'll line the lips and I'll fill it in. And then over that, I'll put a gloss. And that's a nice way to get a natural-looking lip that isn't going to bleed all over the place. If you use a thick cream lipstick, you often find that it seeps into the rest of your face, and that's not very attractive. So I try to use the liner. One of the best tips that I can give anybody is in regards to traveling, and that is whenever you travel, try to use bottled water to cleanse your face. You just pour it into a glass, dip some cotton into it, and use your cleanser or your soap or whatever, but apply it with the cotton and remove it with the wet cotton. It's the best thing I can say to anybody, because foreign water can irritate your skin, and the last thing you want to do is have bad skin when you're traveling.